Welcome back to the MotorFab YouTube channel. My apologies, I missed the episode last week. It was my good friend Damo's 40th birthday, so I was away. I was up in Brisbane City. Got to do these things sometimes, and it was a really fun weekend. Some of Brisbane's Lime scooters will probably never be the same again. But no, it was good to have some time off. Christmas holidays were spent setting this place up and finishing off the move and the setup, so it was good to finally have 2 days in a row off, which was really nice. So I booked into the Sofitel and I stayed at the Sofitel and booked myself in the day spa and a nice massage. It was fantastic. Back to it again now, so all refreshed. And the Toronto, we're waiting on some bits and pieces to come from America. So this week I decided to hook in and try to get this Monaro sorted out this nitrous surging issue, so I can get back to the track and actually make a pass on nitrous. So you'll see this episode of the struggles that I've been through trying to figure out what it is. It's got to be something so simple. But yeah, we've narrowed it down to one part, so I'll get another part and get that sorted out. So hopefully not too far away, we can get back to the track and run a number, hopefully, or break a diff or do something like that. So yeah, enjoyed this episode, going through the Monaro, trying to figure it out. I'm not a nitrous guy at all, I'm a turbo guy, so it's different for me, but I'm enjoying learning, which is good. Definitely, if I've got to pick one or the other, I'm going turbo every day. There's no better way, in my opinion, to make power, but yeah, this nitrous stuff is very simplistic, but then it can be complicated because it is so simple. It's sometimes hard to iron out the problem when you've only got 3 things to choose from. And but anyway, we're getting there. Always go turbo in the future. That's the lesson for the day for me. There's guys doing really well with nitrous. It's definitely a thing, and it definitely is here to stay. It'll never go away. It's to the guys going really fast. Hats off to them. They've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, so next week we're back into the Toronto. Hopefully the parts I've ordered arrive and we can hook in and get that going. I want to get that car going as soon as I can. It's a big job, obviously, but I'll do my best to do it as fast as I can. We are so close to 5,000 subscribers. I think we're like 60 or 70 subscribers off, I think. Maybe, actually not even that, 60. So yeah, like and subscribe, people, please. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It gives me an idea that you like what you see, and it gives me an idea to keep pushing forward and keep building cool cars for the channel and keep having fun. So enjoy this week's episode. I won't waffle on too long. Like and subscribe. You recording, mate?
Yeah.
Nitrous test part 1. You see the cutting in and out of nitrous. You ready, Gizmo?
Ready.
Okay. It's kind of working now. Look about a little bit. Let's try it again. If you put your tongue on that right now,
Yeah.
Quick's
warm it up.
like full base of your tongue. Like that. That's it, yeah.
Okay.
Are you recording?
$20.
Oh, there's like bits of your tongue left.
Yeah, it pulls the skin off there.
Righto, so this is the old solenoid. It's having a problem. I did it like a few times and it played up every time, and then tried to get it on video and it didn't want to do it. It did it once there, but the nitrous comes on and then sharply turns off, and then it flicks off in and out. So then I've got this that I bought for the Ute ages ago. These are supposed to both be 250 shot solenoids, but as you can see, there's clearly a big size difference between the solenoids. And if you look in here, that's the inlet, and then if you look in here, that's his inlet. So clearly flows a lot more. Don't really care about the flow, I just need the thing to come on and stay on. This was resulting in like 20 or 30 horsepower if we were lucky at best, so wasn't really doing anything. So hopefully we'll put this on, that's going to fix our problem. But then I'm a bit worried because I got one of these for the fuel as well, so I have to address that issue as well. Right, test 2 new solenoids, ready? Still doing it. Ready? Nitrous fault finding continued. We were spraying through the plate. You could see the problem. It was cutting in and out. I thought, it must be an easy fix. We'll change the solenoid. We'll change the solenoid. Still does it. So we're doing everything. I'm just going to break the system down. I've already done most of it. I'll tell you where we're up to. I've stood the bottles up in the back. We've got this hose. It's running through the car. It is just one single hose, no interruption. Comes all the way to the solenoid. We've changed solenoids. We had this one on before. Both solenoids. This solenoid has fixed one problem. This solenoid was making very little volume, like next to nothing. This solenoid certainly makes a lot more volume, but it kind of shows up the flicking of the nitrous, surging of the nitrous more so. So that hose to there. Now what I did, we've pulled the wires off the solenoid. We're just running directly to a battery, just busting it straight to the battery. So there's no relays, no voltage drop. So it's not a voltage problem. I would assume it's not a solenoid problem because we've got the same problem across 2 solenoids. So if I spray it directly out of the solenoid, we get continuous nitrous, no surging. Spray it out of the fitting, continuous nitrous, no surging. If I spray it out of the hose here, continuous nitrous, no surging. If I spray it out of the adapter, continuous nitrous, no surging. If I spray it out of the peel and the next fitting, it's continuous, there's no surging. When I put the very last piece of the puzzle on the plate, I get the surging back. So that tells me there's an issue with the plate. It's a reputable company. So trying to get focus. They're in America, so I haven't been able to speak with them yet about what's happening. I've had a bit of a loss. What actually looks like is happening is it looks like the as it comes through the jet, the orifice, it opens up inside. It's almost like a bit of a cavity in here, and after you spray it, you sort of shake ice out of it. So what I think is happening is that as the nitrous, you spray it out of a hose, it ices up on the end. Whenever it gets into a lower pressure scenario, it creates ice. So I think once it's coming through the small pill into a bit bigger cavity here, it's creating a low pressure area, which is icing up in here, which is then clogging up. It ices up all around here, as you saw, and it should only ice after the hole, but I think it's icing up inside, to be honest. And because I'm running E85, which some people say it can, some you can't. I've done it before without problems, but I think because we're running E85 into the plate, the E85 is also helping it to ice up as well. So I'm not too sure how to correct this problem just yet. We're going to keep working on it. So I'm going to try and put a bigger pill in there so it's not a bigger transition from the pill to the orifice in the plate. See if that helps, and put it back together. I've only got a little bit of nitrous left, so I actually want to put it back together and run it in the car park to see if it's still surging with the plate on it. So hopefully we can get the poor little tyres to hook up with the nitrous on, but that'll be fun, good content for you guys too. So here we go. So what I'm doing here, I've changed putting everything back in the test fashion. We've got no purge or anything on it, so we'll purge it in the motor. It's just eliminating everything that I can. We got bottle to solenoid to plate. I know you should start small and work your way up, but I think this cavity in here is quite open, so I actually think going from the small, I could be totally wrong, I'm not a nitrous guy, I'm just working on physics and what I think could possibly be the problem because I can't see anything else. I I think going through the little orifice in the jet, we only had a very small jet in here, trying to start small, and then as it's releasing into a bigger area, it's allowing enough turbulence to come back through, or enough turbulence is sucking enough air back through for it to ice up inside the plate, as we can see ice inside the plate. So and I think that's what's causing the problem. So I'm hoping one thing, the heat of the running engine is going to be enough to slow that down. And I've gone up to, I think I've gone from like a 50 jet up to a 85 jet. And I've gone to a 102 in the fuel, just trying to make it as rich as I can. I know it's dangerous starting on a bigger end of the shot, but it's the only way I can see to solve a problem. I think it is. I don't know. Write in the comments if you know what it is. If you're a nitrous guy and you've seen it happen before, let's hold back on the guesses. But I'm doing enough of that myself. I'm also going to install this Innovate wideband controller that I've got. So we'll put the O2 sensors in the headers, and that way I'll be looking at nothing else but that. We're going to try to eliminate as many problems as I can before going back to the dyno, rather than chewing up another day on the dyno fault finding. I'd rather fault find it, and if I can get it to do its thing, if it can just make a 1 or 2 second pull without that surge, I know that it's fixed. So then we can go back to the dyno. So here we go, is we'll put it all back together, put the wideband in, and see how we go. Righty-o, so we've got our different solenoid jerry rigged up. We're still on the same fuel, which that's going to be a bit of a thing to see if the fuel can richen up or not. We've got the bigger jet in there. We've wired straight to basically battery power. And now we've got, someone's locked the door on me here. Let's get in there. We should have ignition, there we go. So we've got the Innovate, so that's going to read air fuel ratio. So W means it's heating the sensor. So that's going to heat the sensor. Basically, first test was going to just start it up, warm it up a little bit, bring it up to say like 2,000 RPM, and then just purge it into the engine. You'll see the engine pick up straight away, and we'll see if it goes rich or lean. So that'll be test one, just to see where we are air fuel wise. That's obviously not under load, so it's a bit different, but yeah, if we're dangerously lean, not under load, we know we've got big problems when we're under load. So let's get that out of the way first, and we should be able to see there if the nitrous is surging still or not. And then what we'll do is we might drive it around and give it a few squirts while we're driving, see if it see what happens. So let's do it. You can see what's happening there. It's reading ridiculously lean, and what's happening there is that's not an actual reading, because it's such a big header, and there's no exhaust system on it. Obviously it's on the O2 bung's in the collector under the floor here somewhere, a bit that usually gets warm, and because of the big cam, the reversion's sucking air back in, so you're not getting a true reading. But once the revs come up a little bit and the nitrous sprays in there, you should get a bit truer reading. But over idle, obviously it's going to be all over the joint. It's going to go up and down, up and down. So we'll try it with the nitrous. Right, so first test we'll probably just try it with, I've got the nitrous bottle off still, so I want to try it with the nitrous armed but the bottle off to see. We should go really rich. It should just bury the motor in fuel. So we'll see if that's working first. Let's get our fuel pump. to stall straight away, so we're getting fuel on the nitrous. So let's turn the bottle on and try with the bottle. The worst thing is it's so freaking loud. Pop our bottle on, and then you should see it. Once I hit that spray, you should see the engine ramp up straight away, and it's not throttle position. I'll just be holding the throttle at the same, so it'll just it'll pick up just from the nitrous. Ignition on. Chill that for a sec. Of course, the stupid wideband waits till now to have a little hissy fit, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. Yeah, I really got no idea. Look at it, it's all over the shop. This is what I used to have this thing in bumping years ago, and it was just never worked properly. So I took it out, but today it's been fine. Well, no nitrous, but as soon as I've got the nitrous going, it's going stupid, so I don't know what the hell is going on. So I'll try to figure that out, and we'll get back to our next test. So we'll try and figure out this wideband. I'm just going to run over there, make sure it's not doing anything funky. But yeah, it didn't ramp up with the nitrous. As you can see, it's very hard to test it like that because it just goes straight up. You hold it any more than a split second, it's straight to the rev limiter. So yeah, it's a tricky thing, but hopefully on a little car park test, we can see if it's going to surge still. Obviously it won't surge at that short amount of time, but there's definitely a lot more nitrous in than before because it's just ramping like crazy. Hopefully we need to figure out if it's lean ramping or it's okay ramping. So we'll see. So we'll quickly pull a plug. Ran a bit of nitrous then, so it's very hot. We'll see. If it was like, it didn't run long enough to really do anything with that, but it's just, we might get a plug read, I don't think so, but at least if it was stupidly rich, we might see something on the plug. So we'll see. It's a delicate operation because it's hot. Probably not great, to be honest. So you guys can see that we're just smoking the cadmium off the tip, which is not a good sign already. Poor little tip's got pretty hot. Doesn't look too bad in the heat, but like I said, it didn't run long enough. So yeah, we'll see about that. I'm gonna try to get some more fuel pressure into it. Try to get maybe even a bigger, I've got the biggest fuel pill I can get. So yeah, we'll see. I'll pull a couple more and see what they look like. make a decision from there. So I probably rushed over that what we're looking at. Obviously, this part here is great. This is a safe tune. The cadmium is still on the plug. It's not burnt off, but that was how the thing was running naturally aspirated. This plug's been in it for too long. It wasn't a fresh plug when I did it. So that part of it, yeah, that would be perfect tune. It's nice and safe. But what I'm concerned is I checked them before we sprayed in nitrous, and there was still, there was a little bit of a conservative timing mark on the tip of the plug from the dyno the other day, but this starting to turn white on the tip here, that wasn't there before, so that's yeah, it's a bit that worries me a little bit. My pretty extreme temperature, but I wouldn't have thought it would be doing it in such a short run, but that's what I was worried about. If it's so dangerously out of whack, it can do crazy things. It only takes a second to blow an engine up. So I'll try to get some more fuel in it and before we put it under load and try it, and we'll go from there. Live test one. I don't know if you guys can see, but the sun's right in my face, so it's extremely hard to drive. There was no looking at the wideband while I was doing that. That was a bit of a crazy idea. I thought I was going to be able to launch it and hold the spray on and look at the wideband. But evidently not. So the nitrous definitely comes on a lot harder than it was before. It's turning the tyres, so it was dead hooking before without the spray, but it's not turning them too bad. It's actually got a lot of grip, but it's very enough to let the load off the motor. It might not be working properly just yet, but it was a good looking whip, isn't it? So now, well, attempt 3, I'm going to try to drive it just gently on the roll. Might even put it in second or top gear, and just see if I can hold the spray on for like 3 seconds or something, so that it I can see the surge. Hopefully I've got enough driveway to hold it on for say 3 seconds or so. The reason why I'm trying to do it in driveway is concrete's actually really grippy. Bitumen is just going to turn the tyres, so we'll see. I'll try to film this while we do it. We'll see how we go. Let's do it. This time I'm ready. Hey, earmuffs, sunglasses. Now we'll be right. Righto, there you go. Right in the Monaro. It's definitely still surging 100%. So it's got that huge, it comes on hard, and then exactly what I was doing on the plate, when you spread it into the air, it comes on hard, then it shuts off, then it comes on again, and when it comes on again, it's sort of, it's just like on and off, on and off. It's not just clean cut spray like that first initial hit. So I've done every single part of this thing now. The only thing that can be left is that plate. So I'll get another plate, send that one back to NX and see if they got any ideas as to what's wrong with it. Because yeah, I've replaced every other single part, changed over every other part of the nitrous system, so it can only be the plate now. So I pulled some plugs, had a fair bit of spray that time. It's a weird feeling. You're only just resting your foot on the accelerator, and then all of a sudden thing takes off just from the button, but it's pretty cool. There you go. So I can't do much more. Hey, Chevy, what are you doing, buddy? Can't do much more on that thing now until I get another plate. But I'll get another plate and hook all the purge nut back up. Hopefully it's fixed it. Once we get it working, then we'll hook all the purge that up, and then back to dyno, then back to the racetrack. So I just pulled the plug again. You can see it's starting to darken up now. It's good that it's not burning. See heaps of cadmium still on it, but then over that you got a nice rich tinge to it, which is good. It's not burning the plug up the threads. It's not hot. It's had a fair spray this time, and you can see that white is dulled right off. It's rich now, so I'm happy with that. A bit of extra fuel pressure did the trick to really fatten it up. As I look back over the video, the wide band, and you can see when I actually hold on the spray for a bit and it comes on, drops down to like 0.74, 0.78, which is good. Nice and fat down there, so you could definitely lean it out a little bit and make more power. We want to start reach, which is where we're aiming for. So that's a good thing. We're not trying to blow the thing up, which is good. It's what we want.